Dangerous new phase in Russia's war in Ukraine. The Kremlin claims that 4 occupied areas of the country voted to join Russia. Now, the U.S. calls the referendum illegitimate, but a Ukrainian refugee family is getting ready to make their way to Minneapolis. And it's all thanks to a woman who's formed a special bond with the family's son. David Schumann spoke to the pair about their unlikely friendship and all the help they still need.
While Mykola Saprinov worked to graduate from the University of Minnesota, he also watched Russian forces invade his hometown.
It's very difficult because I felt like I had no control. You're feeling really powerless and you feel like you can't really do much.
He needed a place to live, too, before starting his grad studies.
I just jumped on it. It just felt like a gift, and before I knew it, we were connecting, and I was sort of offering him everything I have.
The daughter of Holocaust survivors, Margie felt an immediate affinity for Mykola.
He's such a sweetheart. I mean, I love him now.
Their connection led to something greater. Margie sponsoring Mykola's family to come to America. They're now in Latvia after escaping Ukraine.
I'm excited to know that they're going to be in safety, but it's also, I feel in a way responsible for making sure that this transition is, goes as smooth as possible.
This is where Mykola and his family will move into, a 2-bedroom apartment, university housing. They'll be here in about 3 weeks, and the to-do list to get the place ready is about a mile long.
You need every fork, spoon, sheet, you need everything.
A post asking for donations got an overwhelming response.
When you make a personal connection, everything changes. Because you start to really care. It's not just some cause out there. You start to care. And that brings out something very beautiful in us.
In Minneapolis,
I really hope that they will be able to find themselves here. And as I, found myself here.
David Schumann, WCCO 4 News.
David, thank you. And new Russian recruits are undergoing military training. The recruits were shown with their newly assigned weapons, as well as being put through their paces in training on maneuvering and handling weapons during battlefield operations. President Vladimir Putin's ordered Russia's first military mobilization since World War II last week, which could see hundreds of thousands more people sent to fight in Ukraine. And the U.S. Embassy in Moscow issued a security alert overnight, urging U.S. citizens to leave Russia immediately while there are still options for departing the country. It comes in the wake of Russian President Vladimir Putin's order for that partial mobilization of Russian men to fight in the war. Now, the alert said that Russia may refuse to acknowledge the U.S. citizenship of dual nationals, deny their access to U.S. consular assistance, and prevent their departure from Russia. Now, the embassy said that they have severe limitations on its ability to help U.S. citizens.